really emissions can be associated with about 17 to 20% of the emissions on the farm. And really what's being influenced here is how long the manure is being stored for, how and when it's applied, and then there's a certain proportion of those emissions coming from manure that's excreted from the animals during grazing. So really, when it comes to managing those emissions from the application of manure, the things that farmers need to think about is when they're applying. So Teagasc would advise, where possible, to apply 70% of your slurry in the springtime. So really what is happening here is that at this time of the year, the nitrogen demands for the plants can be met by the application of the N content in the slurry, and there's less interference with sunlight and wind when the slurry is being applied. And really that's why in the springtime you've associated lower emissions with the manure management on your farm. And then the other aspect to consider is how you apply your manure. So typically in Irish systems, a splash plate has been used in the past, but the tendency now is to move towards low emission spreading slurry technologies. So what these do is they apply the slurry under the canopy of the grass at a slower rate than the splash plate, and this means that there's less volatilization of the nitrogen in the slurry itself, there's greater uptake of nitrogen that's available, and there's less interference with the environment such as sunlight and wind when it's being applied. So really looking at things like when you're applying and how you're applying are the main factors that can be taken into account to manage your emissions from manure application.